While Western media only features this country in relation to famine, pirates, and the Al-Shabaab militant group, it has so much more to offer. Somalia is known as the Horn of Africa because it resembles a rhinoceros horn. Because of its unique shape and location, Somalia has the longest coastline in mainland Africa. The country with the longest coastline in all of Africa is Madagascar, but it is an island. The two countries also share something else. Did you know that Madagascar apparently gets its name from Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia? The famous 13th century explorer Marco Polo mistook the island of Madagascar for Mogadishu and called it Madageiscar, a transliteration of Mogadishu. Somalia has an estimated population of 15 million people. Its capital Mogadishu is also its most populous with 2.3 million inhabitants. Mogadishu was known as the White Pearl of the Indian Ocean by traders and explorers. Hargeisa is the second largest city with 1 million people. Before we dive into the amazing facts about the Horn of Africa, like the video, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The beautiful country of Somalia has a long history. The Republic of Somalia was formed in 1960. After World War II, the former Italian Somalia was promised independence, and the British agreed to transfer their protectorate of Somaliland to form one republic. From October 1969 to January 1991, Maxim Sayed was president of the country, until he was overthrown by a civil war waged by clan-based guerrillas. For a long time after the civil war, the country lacked an effective centralized government, but now the region is healing and picking up the pieces. The country is bounded by the Gulf of Aden on the north, the Indian Ocean on the east, Djibouti on the northwest, and Ethiopia and Kenya to the west. It is one of Africa's most homogeneous countries, and it gets its name from the Somali community that makes up more than 85% of the country. Because the borders of the country were drawn by the colonial powers, the Somali community is divided between Somalia, Kenya, Djibouti, and Ethiopia. It is important to note that a de facto government declared the formation of an independent Republic of Somaliland in 1991. In 1998, an autonomous region called Puntland was also declared. The country uses the Somali shilling, and there is widespread use of private money transfer operators. These private MTOs remit money from the diaspora into the country. They also operate like informal banks and gave the country fiscal stability before the re-establishment of the Somali Central Bank in 2009. Following the December 2004 tsunami, there emerged allegations that the unguarded, long and remote coastline had been used for illegal dumping by international companies. These companies had taken advantage of the lack of a navy after the 1991 Civil War. The tsunami was believed to have stirred up tons of nuclear and toxic waste dumped illegally. Evidence was presented before the European Parliament of contracts signed by a Swiss firm and Italian waste broker, and representatives of the de facto leader to accept 10 million tons of toxic waste in exchange for $80 million. Other foreign firms also dumped toxic waste and fishes illegally in the country's waters. In 2005, ANEP reported that the waste has resulted in respiratory infections, mouth ulcers, and abdominal hemorrhages, and posed a risk to the entire East African coastline. Armed community groups organized to protect the coastline, but these later evolved into the infamous Somali pirates. Somali's cuisine has many foreign influences owing to its position that has facilitated trade with different regions. The cuisine is a fusion of traditional Somali dishes and other culinary influences, including Indian, Arabic, and Italian influences. Popular dishes include halva, sabrayad, and sambusa. Pasta is also part of the cuisine. This is owing to the fact that Somalia is one of the few countries in Africa colonized by Italy. The other two are Libya and Eritrea. Spaghetti in Somalia is called bosto and is often served for lunch or dinner with a heavy sauce. Rice is also a popular dish served with stew and a banana. A Somali breakfast is not complete without coffee borrowed from neighboring Ethiopia. Though coffee originates from Ethiopia, it is the Somalis who polarized it through trade. Spices like cumin, nutmeg, cardamom, and cinnamon are an important part of the cuisine. Camel meat is also eaten, while pork is forbidden by Sharia law, to the largely Muslim population. Ancient walls and mausoleums like the Wargard Wall show evidence of ancient civilizations in the region. Evidence shows that Somalia was the location of the ancient land of Punt that traded with ancient Egypt and Mycenaean Greece. The Puntites traded ivory, cattle, spices, and frankincense with the Egyptians, Indians, Chinese, and Phoenicians through their commercial plots. An Egyptian expedition sent to Punt by Queen Hatshepsut is recorded on temple reliefs in Egypt. Today, myrrh and frankincense are still a large part of Somalia's exports, and a large part of the Roman Catholic Church's incense comes from Somalia. The absence of formal statistics makes it difficult to gauge the growth of Somalia's economy in recent years. However, according to the CIA, despite the years of unrest, the country has maintained a healthy economy. Its economy is mainly based on livestock export, money transfer companies, and telecommunications. In 2009, the CIA estimated that the GDP had grown to $5.7 billion. There has also been an increase in investments in commercial activities, mainly by the Somali diaspora. Somalis in the diaspora have invested in trade and marketing, money transfer services, transportation, telecommunication, airlines, fishery equipment, construction, and hospitality. Economists also hold that a dependence on Somali customary law allows for a stable environment to carry out business in. Somalia is the world's fifth largest source of migrants. Up to 2 million Somalis have migrated to other countries, most of them into neighboring countries. Almost 500,000 Somali migrants live in Kenya, and up to 450,000 migrants live in Ethiopia. Others live in Yemen, Eritrea, Djibouti, and Libya. The USA and UK each have significant populations of Somali migrants. Somali migrants are very entrepreneurial and hardworking and contribute to the economy of their resident countries. The UN Development Programme estimates that 1.6 billion in remittances is sent back to Somalia annually from the diaspora. These remittances are a significant driving force of Somalia's economy through investment. Despite the fact that the country is largely homogeneous, Somalis distinguish themselves through clans. These clans play a significant role in culture and politics. The Somali constitution guarantees representation for the major and minor Somali clans in parliament, in the 4.5 power-sharing formula. Clans are patrilineal, meaning a person's clan is determined by their father. The clans are further divided into subclans. Somalis also take their family lineage very seriously, and many can trace their patrilineal lineage back hundreds of years, some as far back as 30 generations. In fact, women keep their father's name even after marriage. Clans also provide a sense of kinship for Somalis, across the borders of different countries. Somali and Arabic are the country's official languages. The Somali language is the best documented of the Cushitic languages, with research dating back to the 1900s. It is one of the few African languages that have its own writing system. In fact, a number of writing systems have been developed to transcribe the language, but the most widely used is the Somali alphabet. The alphabet has been used since the Supreme Revolutionary Council introduced it in 1972. The script was invented by Somali linguist Shaya Jamara Ahmed and uses all the letters of the Latin alphabet except P, V, and C. Other scripts are the Wadab, Barama, Asmania, and Kadar scripts. English is also widely spoken in Somalia because of the NGOs working in the country. It is also used in Somali universities. The large-scale cave paintings are found in the outskirts of Hargeisa, in Somaliland. The vivid rock paintings are some of the best preserved in Africa. They date back 20,000 years and are thought to be the first to show domesticated African cattle. Although the locals knew of the painting's existence, they only received international attention after a 2002 survey by a French group of researchers led to their discovery. Somaliland is home to numerous archaeological sites and megalithic structures. With Somaliland being safer, Many tourists visit these sites in the region. The Pew Research Institute estimates that 99.8% people in Somalia are Muslims. Majority belong to the Sunni branch of Islam. Sufism, which is a mythical sect of Islam, is also well established. The constitution defines Islam as the state religion, and Sharia law is the basic source for national legislation. Islam was introduced to the region during Muhammad's lifetime, when the first Muslims of Mecca fled persecution during the First Hijra. Masjid al-Qiblatain is a mosque in Somaliland, built before it was custom to build mosques facing Mecca. It is one of the oldest mosques in Africa. Somalia has also produced prolific Islamic scholars, like Uthman bin Ali Zaylai of Sayla, who wrote the most important text on the Hanafi school of Islam. The camel is an important part of life in Somalia. The world's largest population of camels is found in Somalia. Of the world's estimated 14 million camels, Somalia has more than 7 million. That's more than 50% of the world's camel population. Since 60% of Somalia's population are pastoralists, these beasts of burden are integral to their way of life. The camels are a source of meat, milk, and a mode of transport. They are suited to the arid conditions of the region and the constant moving in search of pasture. The camel is also big business in Somalia, with an estimated annual export value of $250 million. The animal is exported to North Africa and Middle Eastern countries. The country is not all deserts and arid regions. Somalia has 7 ecoregions, including the Ethiopian montane forests, the East African mangroves, the northern Inhabitants coastal forest, the Somalia acacia bushland, and finally, grasslands and shrublands. The country also has a wide variety of wildlife because of its geographical and climatic diversity. They include the cheetah, lion, elephant, baboon, and giraffe. The cheetah is on Somalia's national seal. The Kalkado is a mountain range in eastern Somalia, which has the country's highest peak of 2,414 meters. The Juba and Shabaab are the only permanent rivers in the country and are an important source of water for people and cattle in the dry seasons. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified of future uploads. See you soon in our new video.